So, hello all, welcome back. Hope you all are doing good and safe. So, earlier we studied about matter, what are the phases or states of matter, and what is the effect of temperature on matter. So, in the effect of temperature of matter, we saw what is the melting point, boiling point, what is the latent heat of vaporization and fusion. So now let us continue and see what is the effect of pressure on matter. So now when pressure is applied on gases, they tend to liquefy. Why so? Because there are present interparticle spaces, very large interparticle spaces in the gases. When the pressure is applied, they tend to compress and these spaces are occupied. The particles come closer. Hence, the liquefaction occurs. What are the examples? We already studied that LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, which is used for cooking, CNG, compressed natural gas for fuel for vehicles, oxygen, liquefied oxygen, which is used in the hospitals. Another example is a solid carbon dioxide. Here, when the pressure is applied, the carbon dioxide is converted to a solid state. Also, when the solid carbon dioxide has to be converted back to the gas, we need 1 atmosphere pressure. This process is known as sublimation. Solid carbon dioxide is also known as dry ice. So now what is the SI unit of pressure? SI unit of pressure, these are the standard units for the physical quantities in science, and pressure is a physical quantity. SI unit of pressure is Pascal, denoted as PA, capital P and small a. So atmosphere, this is also the unit of pressure, but this is the unit of pressure exerted by the gas. 1 atmosphere is equal to 1.01 into 10 raised to 5 10 raised to power 5 pascals. Pressure of air in atmosphere is known as atmospheric pressure. Evaporation. So now let us see what is evaporation. So the phenomena of change of liquid into the vapors at any temperature below its boiling point. So this is the main part here. Any temperature below the boiling point is called as evaporation. So earlier we saw that what is boiling? When the boiling point is reached, then the liquid changes to vapors. Then it will be known as boiling or vaporization. Here the temperature is below the boiling point, then it is known as evaporation. For example, drying of wet clothes. When we wash clothes and spread it in the sun, we see that the wet clothes dry. Why? Naturally the temperature here is maximum up to 40 degrees, but the boiling temperature of water is 100 degrees centigrade. But then too the liquid is being converted to water vapors. This is known as evaporation. So what are the factors affecting evaporation? First is surface area. More is the surface area, more is evaporation. When we dry the wet clothes, we generally spread them. That is, we are increasing the surface area. Temperature. More the temperature, more is evaporation. This is because the increase in temperature enables more number of particles to get the kinetic energy and go to the vapor state. We generally see that clothes dry faster in summers than in winters, because in summers the temperature is higher than winters. Humidity. So what is humidity? Humidity is the amount of amount of water which is present in air. Less is the humidity, more is the evaporation. So if already there are enough water vapors that are present in air, that means which is high humidity, there is no space for more water vapors. So there will be less evaporation. Last is wind speed. More the wind speed, more the evaporation. Particles of water vapor will move away with the wind. Drying of clothes is faster on a windy day. So evaporation causes cooling. This is a very interesting process which we see and which we use in day-to-day life. So now let us see the process behind it. So in an open vessel, the liquid keeps on evaporating. This evaporation process uses some energy. So everything happening in the universe is using some or other kind of energy. So the evaporation also uses the energy. What this means, the particles lose energy during evaporation. So after evaporation, the lost energy has to be taken back. So the particles now absorb energy from the surroundings only. So this absorption of energy from the surroundings makes the surroundings cold. Why so? Because energy here is in the form of heat. I already told you heat is also a form of energy. So now let us see again what will happen when the evaporation process will take place. It will use some energy, that is it will use heat. Heat will cause evaporation. Temperature rise is causing evaporation. We already saw that heat will cause evaporation. So now heat is lost during the evaporation. After the process of evaporation, the particles will again absorb energy. Why they do so? To compensate the loss of energy. Right? So they will again absorb the heat from the surroundings. So when the heat will be absorbed from the surroundings, ultimately we will get the cooling sensation. What are the examples for evaporation causing cooling? These are the very general and basic examples we use daily in our lives. First is when we pour acetone on our palm. Acetone is present in the nail paint remover we generally use. When we pour it on our palm, we feel the cooling sensation. People sprinkle water on roof or outside the houses and shops on hot sunny days as it helps to cool the surface. Desert cooler cool better on a hot dry day. Water kept in earthen pots become cool during summer. Desert cooler cool better on a hot dry day because the temperature is also there and there is less humidity also. So more the evaporation, more is the cooling sensation. Okay. So water kept in earthen pots become cool during summer. Also, why we wear cotton clothes in summer? So cotton clothes absorb the sweat, and when the sweat is exposed in the temperature, sweat is also in liquid form. When the sweat evaporates, it causes the cooling effect. So I hope this was helpful for you all. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And the links to the previous videos are present in the description box.